Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 8th of September. Today we have a lot of very interesting updates, so let's start. And today we're going to start with Kharkiv district, with Kharkiv region, with this area. As you know, the Ukrainians started their counteroffensive operation. To be more precise, they opened the second counteroffensive front line in Ukrainian campaign, and during the previous days they managed to achieve significant success, or the Russians started their very clever plan. We will discuss the situation, try to analyze and try to understand what is going on there. So let's start. First of all, let's take a look at this map. This is the Western Sources map. And there are a few important towns in this area. First one, Balakleya. Today we got few confirmations that Ukrainians managed to establish their own flag in this town. So we can say that this town is in the gray zone. Let's take a look at the Russian sources map. They have updated this map. First they're showing like the south area of Ukraine, of this town, is under Ukrainian control. At least there were a few photos of Ukrainian flag in this area, and the Ukrainians attack in direction from Bayrak, from the south. They establish control over the south, and maybe they control the south of this town. We don't have final confirmation of the fact that the Russians left this town totally, but anyway we got confirmation that Ukrainians entered this town. If we're talking about the Ukrainian report, Ministry of Defense, they didn't provide us any evidence or any confirmation of the fact that this town is under total Ukrainian control. Maybe they're going to do this the next morning, so it will happen in a few hours, like of local time. So let's see, let's wait. Maybe they will report that this town is under their control. But for now, as you can see, this town is split in few parts. Another important town in this area is Chevchchenkova and Chikalovska, Yar, these two towns. And these towns the Ukrainians took yesterday. Today they established the final control over this town. Furthermore, there are a lot of towns around this area. Now, by the way, as you can see while recording this video, the Western source map has been updated, showing that Balakleya is under total Ukrainian control. So these towns the Ukrainians got yesterday. And some sources are saying that if we're talking about Chikalovska Yar, this is the most important town in this area, because exactly from this area the Ukrainians are developing their offensive operation in direction of Kupiansk from to the east, and in direction of Vesele Kuny to the south. So this is the main bridgehead the Ukrainians are using for developing their offensive operation, at least for today. Because if we're talking Balakleya, there were a lot of heavy clashes in this area, so that's why they couldn't cross this area and to pass this town. So that's why this Chikalovska Yar was the focal point in the Ukrainian offensive operation. And there are also two important towns on the north, Chevchchenkova and Chikalovska, these two towns. And today we got just one confirmation that Ukrainians was on the edge of Chevchchenkova. There was a photo that the Ukrainian soldier was something around like at the edge of the town on the highway. But today we didn't have any other confirmation of the fact that Chevchchenkova fell and that Ukrainians entered or established control of this town. The same situation about Chikalovska. According to the Western source, but according to the Ukrainians, there were no updates that this town is under Ukrainian control. But there is a small difference with the Russian sources map. If we take a look at the Russian sources map, you're going to see that Chikalovska, this one, that the Russians left this area. This one, this town, this small bag. If you take a look at this area I'm talking about. There were no information about heavy clash or something like this. As far as I understand, the Russians took this decision because of a very big danger, high risk of being circled. And that's why they decided to fix their front line not to have such backs, because there is a very high risk of being encircled. So according to the Russians, they left this bridgehead and moved in direction of Chevchchenkova. From all these maps, we can say that there's just few things that are different and few things that is the same. And the most important part, that Ukrainians couldn't take Chevchchenkova, this town. As we discussed yesterday, it's very difficult to attack this town in front. If you want to do this, you can or attack this town in front, and the Ukrainians, as far as I understand, try to do this morning, or to attack this town from Volkhov Yar from the south, like to attack this, and after that to move to the north. If we're talking about the main goal in this operation, the Ukrainians want to get in direction of Kupiansk, this town, and they want to. And today we got some updates that at least the Russians, some Russian sources reported, some Ukrainian sources reported that Ukrainians managed to get something around 10 kilometers from this town. Let's try to calculate this distance. So according to some sources, the Ukrainians were somewhere here, in town by the name of Grushevka, in this area. So if we're talking about this situation, there is one important update on the Russian sources map, or it was that this morning there were some heavy clashes in this area, but later the Russians reported that there were a lot of commandos and a lot of scouts, a lot of sabotage groups in this area, and this morning all of them activated and started their activity on this territory. And there were heavy clashes right in front of Kupiansk, the heart of Russian control Kharkiv area, and those commandos were spotted and maybe destroyed, maybe not, maybe they managed to escape, evacuate, or hide again, I don't know, but there were heavy clashes there. Some sources are saying that yes, the Ukrainians like in 10 kilometers from this town Kupiansk, but to tell the truth, it's hard to believe, because if we calculate the distance from the mainland, like the area that is confirmed under Ukrainian control, and it's like 38 kilometers. I'm not sure that the Ukrainians moved their artillery on this position. I suppose that, but today we got some video that Ukrainians moved HIMARS in direction of Balakleya. So even if we try to calculate the distance, it's around 60 kilometers. So I'm not sure that Ukrainians were somewhere here, because it's too far from their artillery, and in this case they would be on the not on the safe side. If they want to develop this operation and to be on the safe side, they need to have artillery right on the back. So to be very close and to be mobile and flexible and to be under artillery protection, because without artillery, you can't continue any offensive operation even if you have a lot of forces. So as you can see, the Ukrainians' main goal is to cut Izium from supply. There is a very big, powerful Russian army, and the Ukrainians want us to cut this area from the north. Furthermore, today we got updates that Ukrainians crossed the Seversky Donetsk River in direction of Liman, and we can say that some Russian military experts are saying that the main plan is to take control over Liman, and from Liman to attack in direction of Barova, and in this area from the Kharkiv area to attack in direction of Vershina, and with help of these two attacks to cut Izium from the mainland, to encircle, to create cauldron, and to destroy the biggest Russian army and to make the biggest defeat in this special military operation. This is the situation about this area. Of course, one of the most important town is town by the name of Seventsy. This town is located on the east from Balakleya, and the Russians still hold this area. I suppose that if the Ukrainians did establish control over Balakleya, tomorrow they will try to develop their offensive operation in direction of Seventsy, and they will try to crack this nut, or to take without even a shot, as some sources are saying about the clashes in Balakleya. So we'll see. But I suppose that tomorrow in the morning we're going to see more updates and more piece of news about the situation, because for now there are a lot of information, and to tell the truth, it's very difficult to understand who to believe. But now let's talk about the questions that I have about this special operation, about this counter-offensive operation. Of course, I can't say that the Russians are winning, or it's something like they're a very clever plan to make a trap for the Ukrainians. I can't say that because we see the facts, and the facts are saying that the Russians retreating, and they left one of the most important towns, this area, Balaklia. But my question is, what about this area from Chikalovska and Chevchchenkova, these two towns? These very important towns, and as you can see, the Russians decided to leave this area. But according to the Western sources map, at least, we see that the Russians are not planning to leave these towns. I'm not saying that there is a lot of question about Chikalovska, but the thing is that the only answer to this question why the Russians didn't decide to leave this area, because maybe for some reason it will be much more better to clear the front lines, or maybe Balaklia has more value than Chevchchenkova. The thing is that if we're talking about the Russians, anyway, sooner or later they will be forced, or they will have to start their counteroffensive operation. And if we're talking about if it's a trap, or if it's not even a trap, anyway, if we're talking about any counteroffensive operation, we understand, at least I understand, that to attack, let's say, from Kupiansk in front of upcoming Ukrainian forces, like in this direction, is not a very good idea. Of course, the best solution for the Russians in this case, even to allow the Ukrainians to move a little bit further, deeper in the Russian defense order, and after that to attack the Ukrainians from the north. Of course, that would be like the best solution for this situation. Now let's discuss another question that I have according to this operation. If we take a look at this map, we understand and we know that Ukrainians developed their offensive operation from Andreevka. So they attacked this area like with this arrow from Andreevka in direction of Russian territory. If we take a look at this town Andreevka, Slobozhanskaya, you're gonna see that these two towns is encircled by the river. You see this river. This river starts at Chikalovska, the Russian territory. It moves across Stara Gnilitsa, Skripai, Zmiev. Then it goes to the south to Slobozhanskaya, a little bit to the north-south, Andreevka and Balaklia. This is Seversky Donets River, this one. See, that's the Seversky Donets River. And today I did my small analysis and I tried to count the bridges that leads to this area. We can do this together, starting from Andreevka. The first bridge, as you can see, the second bridge, third bridge, fourth bridge, fifth bridge, sixth bridge, and seventh bridge. Maybe there are more, like another few or three bridges, but anyway, I think that the Russians have enough of artillery and enough of rockets to destroy these bridges. This is not the bridge that we can see in Andreevka. This is a very big river, and this is a very big bridge. This is not the bridge over the Dnipro River, if we're talking about bridges like this one. These are very small local bridges. Just take a look. It's a very small bridges. Believe me, it's nothing. It's not even the bridges. Take a look at this one. Oh, there is like even this one, this bridge. It's not a bridge, it's a very not powerful construction. So the Russians do really have possibilities to stop any Ukrainian offensive operation in this area and to cut this group from support. The question is, why are they not doing this? And believe me, they have possibilities, because this area is not very far from the Russian border. They're able to stop this counter-offensive operation in 1 second. But the Russians are not doing this. It's the biggest question I'm asking myself since this morning. Because furthermore, if you take a look at this bridge, this one. This is the only railroad bridge, two bridges, this one, that Ukrainians are using to move their armored vehicles, tanks in this area, supply, support, HIMARS system, and so on. But let's see. I suppose that sooner or later we're gonna understand the real picture in this area, and we will understand what's going on there, because tomorrow is the third day of these counter-offensive operations, and tomorrow we're going to receive more updates about the situation, about the development near Sevinci, near Chevchchenkova. 3-day passed, so I suppose that the Russians managed to bring more and more reinforcement. The Ukrainians are doing this as the same. Today we got update that Ukrainians move a lot of reinforcement from Kherson district. Like there was like some rumors that Zaluzhny asked, he reported him about success on this front line, and asked Zelensky to give him possibilities to move artillery system and everything reserve they have in this direction. If we are talking about Slaviansk areas, we discussed the Ukrainians crossed Seversky Donetsk River, and today we saw the Ukrainians in Stary Karavan, Bruskivka, and in this area, and they were in this forest, and maybe they are moving in direction of Liman. If we are talking about the Seversk, the situation like no changes. The Russians reports that they activated their offensive operation in this direction, but we didn't saw the Russians on the edge or in Seversk. The only update, like very important update, very interesting update we got from Bakhmut Solidar. The Chechen Special Forces Akhmat started their storm operation of these two towns. Furthermore, they reported that they managed to achieve some success, and then they are ready to take control over entire Solidar. And today we got some pictures and video from the east side of Bakhmut. There was very heavy clashes there, so the Chechensky special forces started their storm operation. If we're talking about Avdiivka, Pesky, the Russians, as you can see, the western source map has been updated. Now the entire Pesky is shown as the territory under Russian control. The Russians are reducing the trenches all along the front line, and now they're concentrated on the town by the name of Opotne. This is a very important area, because if Opotne falls, the Russians will be able to develop their some offensive operation in direction of Vodyannoye, Severne, Tonenka, and try to encircle Avdiivka from the west side. If you're talking about the south, Soledar area, there is no changes. The only update is that the Russians took control over Vromovka and Novosilka. We got this update a few days ago. And very important update we are receiving from Nikolaev area. If you take a look at the Russian sources map, today they reported that Ukrainians tried to do some counter-offensive operation in this area, trying to attack in direction of Posad Pokrovsk, a little bit to the north, and that they reported there was a local penetrating of Russian defense, and that they managed to establish control over a few villages over one village, but later they were defeated and they were forced to move back or something like this. But anyway, this front line is also unstable. As you can see, there are still heavy clashes, but as I understand, the Ukrainians decided to move their focus from this area and to move everything they have in direction of Kharkiv area. Of course, it will take time. It will take not even a day, maybe a week, to move all the reserves from this area in direction of Kharkiv area, and they need this reserve there, because anyway, sooner or later, the Russians are going to start their counter-offensive operation as soon as they are able to stabilize this front line, and they need to do everything but not to allow the Ukrainians to encircle the Izum forces, and not to allow the Ukrainians to return back this town, because this is one of the most important towns in this special operation. And that's it for today. Military Summary channel reminds you that we condemn any violence in Ukraine. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.